This is a cat, this is a bird, and this is a nut. They have one thing in common. They all went viral. The internet loves cute animals and nuts. But what if the real internet hero was something completely different? Like a TikTok dance craze with a scientific twist? Maybe not. Well, let's try something else. Solar is great, wind awesome. But what if the real climate here was nuclear? Let's see if we can make this work. Humans burn stuff to make energy. We've always done it. Wood for warmth, coal for steam engines, natural gas for, well, everything. But burning stuff isn't ideal when we're trying to save the planet. Enter renewable energy. Wind and solar are leading the charge. And these technologies are maturing quickly. Costs are plummeting. Efficiency is rising. Plus, they're abundant. Just put up some panels or spin up a turbine. Easy peasy, except, they're not so convenient. Wind doesn't blow constantly and solar goes dark at night. If we're going to replace fossil fuels with renewables, we need massive batteries to store all that energy, and that's expensive. So yes, solar and wind are great, but they're not quite ready to save the planet yet. So can nuclear plug the gap before the planet burns? To answer that question, we'll tackle three big ones. What is nuclear energy? How safe is it? And can we trust it to power our future? First things first, how does it work? Put simply, nuclear energy is splitting atoms. Boom! That split releases energy. Harness that power, and you've got yourself a nuclear chain reaction. Put simply, nuclear energy is splitting atoms. Boom! That split releases energy. Harness that power, and you've got yourself a nuclear chain reaction. This illustration shows uranium atoms being split into plutonium and krypton, releasing a ton of energy. Noticed anything? Yeah, it's kind of like a bomb. But bombs use the energy to blast stuff up in a way. Nuclear reactors contain it and use it to boil water into superheated steam. That turns giant turbines, which power generators, which make electricity. You know, that microwave that cooks your leftovers in 90 seconds. Yeah, that uses nuclear energy. But don't worry, they're not the same thing. Bombs use highly enriched uranium. Nuclear power plants use fuel that's only slightly enriched. Now that we know what it is, let's talk about the good stuff. Nuclear produces huge amounts of energy with almost zero carbon emissions. It's reliable. Unlike solar and wind, it works 24/7. And it already powers 10% of the world. So why aren't we building more? Well, nuclear has a bad rep. Chernobyl, Fukushima, 3 Mile Island. When things go wrong, they go very, very wrong. People freak out. Governments panic. And that's understandable. But did you know nuclear is statistically safer than coal? People die every year from air pollution caused by coal plants. Coal is also radioactive, and the mining and transporting of coal is dangerous too. So why is nuclear so scary? Because of the unknown. Things like how to deal with thousands of aging nuclear plants around the world, or what to do about nuclear waste. Then there's the cost. Building a plant takes forever. There are political hurdles, red tape. Plus, once you finally build it, you have to operate it for decades just to break even. But here's the kicker. With the right technology, nuclear could be a lot less risky and a lot cheaper. Meet small modular reactors, SMRS. Basically, miniaturized reactors that are safer, faster to build, and cheaper to operate. Here's how they work. In a typical reactor, hot water turns into steam, which powers turbines. But in an SMR, the heat goes directly into a molten salt compound, which then heats up and voila, we've got ourselves electricity. No steam needed. Molten salt also acts as the reactor's coolant, meaning if something goes wrong, the molten salt will actually solidify, stopping the reaction and preventing a meltdown. Plus, SMRs are factory-made. They come pre-packaged and can be shipped anywhere, making them easier and faster to install. Countries like France, China, and the UAE are betting big on nuclear, and so is Bill Gates. His company, TerraPower, is developing its own molten salt reactor. And in 2021, the company secured over $1 billion in funding. Suddenly, nuclear looks, I don't know, kind of cool again. All right, we've talked about safety and cost, but what about waste? One of the biggest concerns with nuclear is what to do with the waste. And yeah, there's a problem. Spent fuel rods do emit radiation, and they remain dangerous for thousands of years. However, the amount of space they require is tiny, like 1 truckload of waste per year for a medium-sized country. The U.S. can store 3 million tons of trash in one Fort Worth, Texas. So yes, it's radioactive, but it's not much. Also, new reactors might be able to recycle nuclear waste into fuel, turning one problem into another. Now back to the question we started with. Can nuclear save us? It won't be easy. The industry needs to prove that it can be safe, consistent, and cheap, but it can also innovate faster than ever before. Costs are falling as the industry matures, and people are starting to pay attention. In 2021, over 30 countries had plans to build new reactors. And in 2022, the World Economic Forum identified nuclear as one of the top 3 technologies needed to achieve net zero. Is it perfect? No, but it is powerful, proven, and ready now. For decades, solar and wind have been the darlings of the green energy space, and rightfully so. But as the climate crisis accelerates, we need every tool available. Solar and wind are great, but they can't go it alone. They need a partner, something to fill in their gaps, keep the lights on when the sun goes down or the wind dies out. So what if we looked beyond the shiny new objects? What if we gave nuclear a second chance? It's not the sexiest option, but it might be our best bet. If we want a livable future, nuclear might be the quiet hero we've been ignoring. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, everyone panicked. Would he turn it into a free speech, absolutist playground for Nazis and white supremacists? Well, hold on a minute. In 1996, 2 astronomers predicted that in about 7 billion years, Earth would be destroyed by an expanding sun. They didn't factor in one key detail, namely humanity's ability to screw everything up long before then. Enter a new paper from Princeton University. Their scientists have calculated that human activity has added 4.5 Hiroshima atomic bombs worth of radiation to the atmosphere every second for the past 6 decades. The result, a significant acceleration of climate change, melting glaciers and rising sea levels. Not exactly the behavior of a species poised to make it to 7 billion years old. So what's the solution? 2 obvious ones. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions and nuke the sun. Okay, maybe scratch that last one. But what if the answer was hiding in plain sight? What if the solution to our ecological problems is staring us in the face? Maybe it's nuclear. Some of the best science communication on YouTube is happening right now, and it is being led by independent creators like us. But platforms don't reward educational video. Our survival is literally at stake, and we rework in overtime to bring you the best science communication possible. Please support us, because together we can solve big problems.